They are riding the rails here inside the North Park at Alliant Energy Center as we get set for men's 60-plus event number 4. I'm Ted Ramey alongside Justin Judkins, and we've got Nick Zielinski down on the floor. Let's get a look at the standings as we head into event number 4 here for the men's 60 and over Masters Division. And no surprise, we've got David Hippensteel right there at the top of the leaderboard, followed by Armando Garcia Besney, Rodrigo Dominguez, Cal Sherrington. Also see Rod Hamby, John Smith, Michael Brown, Bill Stites, Tom Bourbon, and Stephen Angove. And for this event number 4, rope and yoke, Justin, what are these athletes getting themselves into?
Well, it's a classic triplet. The 3 movements are a run, rope climb, and a yoke carry. They're going to do 4 rounds. That first round will involve 4 rope climbs. Then each round after that, they will decrease the number of rope climbs by 1 rep.
Time cap for this event is 20 minutes. Let's now take a look at the lane assignments for our athletes here at the rope and yoke. Keep your eyes, of course, in lane 10, David Hippensteel. Also keep your eyes on Rodrigo Dominguez. Armando Garcia Besney in lane number 11, Cal Sherrington in 12. And this is one where we've seen a couple of times guys coming up on the outside. So if you're on one side and the competitors coming up on the other, it might take a crowd's roar to keep you aware of what's going on here.
Yeah, that's true. I'll tell you though, David Hippensteel, so impressive. He won the games last year and the year before, so he's coming in as and going for his 3rd championship. But I'll tell you what, this is an event that plays really well to his strengths. We've seen this guy climb rope before. He's like a spider monkey getting up and down that thing.
And then we get a shot of Dominguez as well. 3rd entering the day. What's going through his mind entering this event?
Well, he had a 13th place finish in event number 2, and he knows that he can't do that anymore. He's got to stay up towards the top of each event. He had 2 3rd place finishes yesterday, so if he can continue that course of action, then he'll stay at the top 3.
Again, we are getting set for event number 4 for the men's 60-plus Masters rope and yoke.
Stand by.
Day 2 underway for the Masters men's 60 and over division here at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, starting off with a 300-meter run.
And expect this pace to be fairly quick in compared to the other rounds. They're going to want to jump out, jockey for a little bit of position here at the very, very beginning. But I think that in successive rounds, the run will be a little slower as they'll try to use it as a time when they can actively recover from the other work that they're doing.
Now at the back of our screen we can see that Matt Bell had a little bit of a limp going on. He is on the comeback trail of a meniscus tear that happened right before the Open, pushed through that injury, so that's something to pay attention to as we watch him. And you can just see that limp was a little bit more pronounced. Maybe now it's warming up, but he's right there at the back of your screen again on the comeback trail from a meniscus tear.
Yeah, after you've torn your meniscus, the last thing you want to do is see a run coming up in an event that you have to compete in.
He was 3rd in the Open worldwide in that 60-plus division, so I'd say he handled that meniscus tear pretty well.
Yeah, he did. And I've seen athletes come back from meniscus tears and surgery, you know, in 5 or 6 weeks, but they're younger athletes and their bodies are used to recovering all that much quicker. So we'll see how he answers the call with an event that involves a lot of running on those legs where he's torn that meniscus recently.
Athletes making their way to the first of 4 rope climbs. There's Bell coming in right there at the bottom center of your screen.
And I really have to say, Ted, I think that this event here, especially for this age group, the real big divider here or separator will be this rope climb. So they can't have any hesitation on these rope climbs. And what I mean by that is they can't stand at the bottom on that mat and stare at that rope for long periods of time. They need to be efficient on their ascent, but they've also got to be efficient on their descent. So you want to get your feet as high as you can, get a good pinch with your feet, and take out big chunks on that rope climb to try to have as few pulls as possible as you climb up to that cross beam.
Camera going right overhead. Andy Sigler, who entered the day in 15th place. first round of rope climb starts off with 4 before they make their way onto the yoke carry. 2 minutes, 30 seconds gone by.
And Andy there in the blue shorts is doing a great job of having a big, strong pull and trying to get his feet up as high as he possibly can. And then when you're doing it right, you're really using your legs more than you are your arms, and you're able to incorporate those large muscle groups in your body versus the smaller ones in your upper body.
For Sigler, 5 times he's competed in the Open, but this is his first Games appearance. There's Charrington making his way back to the run. Cal Charrington entered the day in 4th overall.
Longtime wrestling coach. I think he was a wrestling coach in Colorado in high school for 33 years. So good at, I would say, at helping athletes do not only the physical, but also the mental. We'll see if he's taken a page out of his own book and comes up strong with a strong mental game in this event. Because I think that a lot of these athletes are going to have to dig down deep and be strong mentally on an event like this.
In addition to that wrestling coach, a retired PE and welding teacher as well.
I got to say, if I've got to do an event like this and it's a longer duration where it's, 10 to 20 minutes, I want the temperature to be in the upper 60s, right? Not too hot, cool you off a little bit as you're completing those runs, but perfect weather conditions for an event like this.
And that's Charrington coming in.
Guys, you mentioned the weather. Coming from Dallas, Texas to Madison, Wisconsin, the last 3 weeks in Dallas, we were 105 plus. It is 66 degrees right now on the competition floor. If there's a better weather for an event like this, I want you to find it for me and take me there, because this is amazing down here.
Again, that was Nick Zielinski on the floor, and as you heard Justin say, yeah, these conditions perfect right now as we see Charrington making his way back to the rope climbs. And we saw as he came in, we did see Bell kind of hobbling in the background. Remember, every time you see Bell, just remember he is on the recovery trail from a torn meniscus.
So Cal Charrington there is one of the taller athletes in the field right now, and he's using that height to an advantage and taking large chunks out of that rope as he's ascending up to that cross beam. Good jump at the bottom, but look how high he's still bringing his feet up. That's taxing on the core, and we're going to hit the core again when we get to that yoke carry. But boy, he is really efficient on that rope climb. He missed that touch at the top there, had to reset for a second.
And you see in the background Garcia Vesne. He entered the day in 2nd. Charrington was in 4th, but he is leading event number 4 right now, the rope and yoke for the Masters 60 and over. It's event number 4 of their competition. And here's David Hippensteel, our 2-time defending champion and overall leader, entering day number 2.
Hippensteel, same thing as Cal Charrington. Really bringing those feet up as close to his hands as he can get them. And then standing up straight and tall.
That's Dominguez closer to the camera. He entered 3rd on the day. And Hippensteel makes his way out to the yoke carry.
So you want to take short, choppy steps. You see David Hippensteel in the center of your screen in the blue shorts do exactly that. You want to keep the bottom of that yoke really level. You don't want it swinging around.
Now, Justin, tell me if I'm wrong. When people are being tested in CrossFit, they seem excited about a strongman type discipline involved until they're actually doing it, and they realize why it's so hard.
Yeah, exactly. It does take, it's a high power output typically. Each of these strongman movements, it is high power output, and that really taxes the body. And I think deceivingly on this yoke carry, it really hits your core a lot more than you would anticipate. And these athletes might not feel it right now while they're going through this, but they'll definitely feel it in their core later on.
There's Dominguez, 3rd, entering the day now, Mulbauer. Over 7 minutes gone by, 20-minute cap here for event number 4 for the Masters men's 60 and over division. Here's Bell again, dealing with a meniscus injury. He was 3rd worldwide in the Open in the 60-plus division and 5th in the online qualifier.
And, you know, take your hat off to any guy that's going to have such a gutsy performance, dealing with an injury like that, still coming in, performing with the fittest 60-plus-year-olds in the world. Not having really any problem on the rope climb. It really is that run that's getting to him. We haven't seen him so much on the yoke carry yet, but
you can see he's wearing a brace that we are more familiar with seeing on offensive linemen in the NFL.
Well, Matt Bell is doing an incredible job, I think.
Hey, guys, you know, we're looking at, obviously, everybody's chasing David Hippensteel, but Cal Charrington, who's leading this event, one name to watch, obviously. And I don't know if you remember from last year's documentary, The Redeemed and the Dominant, Matt Frazier talked something to the effect of he trains to have no weaknesses. He doesn't want to have strengths, but he doesn't necessarily want to have weaknesses, that well-rounded game. Well, Cal Charrington yesterday, the AG Battleground presented by the U.S. Marine Corps, he had a first-place finish. A very short, a very sprinty event. Took him 3:36. You turn around today, come into today. Right now, we're at 8 minutes and 50 seconds. He's got 1 round to go, so a little bit of a longer event for these Masters athletes. Is that telling us right there that maybe Cal Charrington is one of the more or better well-rounded athletes in this division?
Well, and like you said, Nick, you really want to hammer those weaknesses, and having the experience that Cal Charrington has over the last 35 years of being a high school coach, one thing that you're always doing with your athletes is really trying to pick up on those weaknesses that they might have, helping them turn those into strengths. I'm sure that he has done the exact same thing with his own performance. I know he's got a son that was, high-level Division I wrestler, was actually a national champion. So Cal Charrington, I'm sure that being the experienced coach that he is, he's also an experienced athlete.
And Justin, you're a coach as well. How much does that play into an athlete competing, maybe not necessarily at the games or anywhere else, but how does that play into someone like him who coaches everyone else? How does that play into his mindset for himself competing here at the games?
Well, I think it's huge, and I think it's huge on several levels, because all of that experience it's like gold when it comes to a competition like that. So he can really rely on that experience. You know, he's been in situations like this with his athletes. I'm sure he's been in situations like this with his team. He knows how to dig down deep when it really, really hurts. And he's been coaching guys for 35 years on how to push through pain and deal with adversity. And he can do the same thing here.
Well, as long as he keeps leading, I'm going to have to ask him that question, I think. Let's see how it plays out.
Thank you, Nick. Again, this is Charrington, our leader here in event number 4. He entered the day in 4th. Making a move on the leaderboard if this holds up.
Yeah, 2 first-place finishes in a row will help his overall standings on the leaderboard tremendously.
And Charrington was 7th in this division at the games in 2017. Over 11 minutes gone by here, 20-minute cap. Charrington makes his way out to the yoke. Here's Garcia Besney right now. He entered the day in 2nd after the first 3 events. But he's fallen back of Charrington, who is absolutely flying.
He really was. He was taking short, choppy steps just like you're supposed to with the yoke. But he was taking those short, choppy steps really fast.
And at the end there, you heard him yelling there, "That was fun."
It's weird. The events are a lot more fun when you win them.
Right. There's Garcia Besney coming in, trying to hold on to that 2nd place spot. So we'll see if he can perhaps overtake David Hippensteel.
And this is Armando's 2nd games. He placed 6th at the games last year.
And there's Hippensteel, our overall leader and defending champion. as he makes his way back to the yoke carry. This is our overall leader entering day number 2.
So, Ted, all 4 of his finishes will be in the top 4. An impressive performance by David Hippensteel.
And exceedingly smooth from Hippensteel as he comes across.
He really did a great job of keeping the bottom of that yoke really parallel and even, not letting it swing around very much.
Hippensteel, 2016 champion, the 2017 champion. He was 9th in 2015 at the 55-59 division and was 5th in 2014 and 2013 in that division. So he has a history of placing pretty darn high in addition to being a champion for the last 2 years.
Yeah. Nor is he any stranger to this competition, right? This is his 6th appearance.
Yep. And his daughter, Heather Hippensteel, is a CrossFit competitor as well. So good genes.
Yeah, she's competed for years on CrossFit Invictus's team here at the games. Rodrigo Dominguez now crossing the finish line.
Hey guys, you just saw Rodrigo Dominguez finish that event in 4th place. We watched the individuals last night with that marathon row. Well, Rodrigo Dominguez is competing, let me just make sure I get this right, in the South American Polynesian Canoeing Championship. That'll be held in Brazil in November. I don't know, I'd put pretty good odds on Rodrigo finishing that marathon row pretty high up the list as compared to those individuals. I know that's a very taxing event, but Rodrigo, I'd give him a pretty good shot based on his future competitions. The South American Polynesian Canoeing Championship.
Man keeps busy in addition to a 2nd place finish in the Open this year worldwide in the 60 plus. He was also 3rd in this age group in 2017, 9th in 2016. Coming up on the 15-minute mark, 20-minute cap. Getting a look at Landry here, entered the day in 12th place. Russell we got a shot of. Look, that's Delafontaine down there at the bottom of your screen. And we see Bell making his way back. And again, if you're just joining us, this was not an injury sustained in this competition. Bell suffered a meniscus tear before the Open, powered through, finished 3rd in the Open in his age group, finished top 5 in the online qualifier.
And you know, that's just got to be painful with every step that he's taking. But man, what a gutsy performance. We said that earlier, but you know, it's one thing to say, yeah, you got to toughen up and just push through, but it's another thing when your leg's on fire, every step just burns like crazy, and you just got to keep continuing to run that 300-meter course. So hats off to Matt Bell.
Look back, the inside is Sigler. 15th entering the day. He comes in under 17 minutes, just over 3 minutes to go.
And we mentioned this with the 55 to 59-year-olds. It's so important, even if you're not finishing at the top of the heat or the top of this event, I think that it's so important just from a mental standpoint to be able to finish this event or any event under that time cap. No athlete wants to be time capped. So mentally to be able to say, yeah, I came in, I hit it hard, I still finished under that time cap, gives you confidence rolling in to that next event.
Rod Hamby comes in. He was 5th entering the day. 2.5 minutes roughly to go.
See David Hibbins still down there cheering on John Mariotti. A lot of the other athletes doing the exact same thing, switching from competitors to coaches and helping those guys get across that finish line.
And that is Bell entering the North Park.
Ken Ogden right behind him in the blue shirt, blue shorts.
Just over 1.5 minutes remain. And you can see, Justin, there was no drive for him to jump. He tried.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that he didn't stand on the mat and just stare at the rope for a minute to collect himself. I like that he just got right off that run and jumped right on that rope and attacked it.
So he's got just over 1 minute to complete that yoke carry.
We'll see how this knee holds up on these yoke carries.
He's got 55 seconds. "45 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Great job, just strong and steady, even with the meniscus injury.
It will take more than a torn meniscus to stop Matt Bell as he gets in under the cap.
And a good low time for Bell, about his game number 1.
10 seconds remain.
And we will count you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for our 60-plus.
And there is Charrington, who takes the event win, 11:32.62, and he's starting to climb that leaderboard. He had a good first day, came in 4th, but now winning event number 4, huge.
Little war paint. Thumbs up from David Hibbins still coming in the overall leader. And then Cal Sherrington on event number 4 and just crushed those rope climbs. So efficient from the first round to the 4th round. And Matt Bell with the gutsy performance of the day, suffering through that torn meniscus. Cal Sherrington, no weaknesses here in the triplet called rope and yoke. Cal Sherrington coming in and winning his 2nd event in a row. And the retired teacher, now current rancher, coming up big on event number 4.
Charrington, followed by Armando Garcia-Besney, David Hippensteel, Rodrigo Dominguez, Michael Brown, rounding out the top 5. Then Stephen Angrove in 6th, Mark Landry, Brown, Russell, John Smith, and Tom Molbeier. And let's send it down to Nick Zielinski, who has David Hippensteel down on the floor.
David Hippensteel, the 2-time defending champion of this division. What's it like to carry that title and defend that crown each and every year?
It's a lot of pressure. I don't know, I think I was more nervous this year than any other. The first 2 days, getting through the first day yesterday was just huge relief, huge relief.
Got 2 more events today.
Yeah.
How do you manage to get through that, get to that rest day, and carry on through that weekend?
Yeah, you just got to do what you got to do. Just keep pushing, stay focused, absolutely focused. Rest as much as you can in between, for sure.
What's it like competing in this group day in and day out?
It's awesome. It's awesome. These guys are all my brothers in fitness. I said it last year. It's just great. We're cheering each other on. We're just here. We're loving to be in shape, best shape of our lives, trying to send that message out to the world that you can do it no matter your age.
So. David Hippensteel, go get some rest. We'll see you later today.
Thanks, man. Yeah, all right. Thank you.
That was David Hippensteel. He was our overall leader entering the day, but it was Cal Sherrington who gets the event win, and he is on a roll after entering the day in fourth. Now he puts himself in a good place to make his way towards the top of that leaderboard. But right there, as well as Armando Garcia-Besney, he entered the day in second, and he had another second-place finish. So he finds himself in good standing after 4 events for the Masters Men's 60-plus division here at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back with more action coming up next. A shot to the Capitol here in Madison, Wisconsin, the home of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, on a lovely morning here inside the Alliant Energy Center at the North Park as we get set for women's 50 to 54 event number 4, the rope and yoke. I'm Ted Rainey alongside Justin Judkins. We've got Nick Zielinski down on the floor. And as we get set for event number 4, let's take a look at the leaderboard, which sees Mishiznik at the top, Justin, followed by Ava Thornton and the Marcia Van Glen and Weisgel, Rose Wall, Kim Holloway, and Linda Elston. Any big surprises for you out of those day one standings?
Well, I think Eva Thornton really surprised me. She started out a little rough with the 15th place finish in event number 1, but followed the next 2 events up with the first place finish in event number 2 and a first place finish in event number 3. So very impressive.
Now, what are our athletes getting themselves into here with event number 4?
Well, it's commonly called the triplets. We've got 3 different movements. They're going to complete 4 rounds of a 300-meter run, 4 rope climbs, and a 44-foot yoke carry, 300 pounds on the yoke, but then those rope climbs will decrease in number with each round until the last round they only complete 1 rope climb.
The event has a 20-minute time cap, and with that, let's take a look at our lane assignments. Kim Holloway in lane number 8, Lori Mishiznik in lane 10, also Marcia Van Glen and Weisgel in lane number 9, Ava Thornton in 11, Linda Elston in 13, Christy Lunny in lane 19. And a third, fourth, and a third for her in the first 3 events. Can she keep it rolling here on day number 2? And then a look at Thornton right now. Won 2 of the first 3 events, 2nd place after the first day of competition, so she'll be looking to continue at hot start as well here inside the North Park at the Alliant Energy Center. Again, it's the rope and yoke event number 4 for the women's 50 to 54 competition as they get set to start off day 2 of their competition.
Stand by.
Day 2 has begun for the Masters Women 50 to 54 age division here at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games.
And Ted, I think that these ladies will start out fast and try to maintain that pace throughout. So we know that there's a 20-minute time cap. We've seen some of the other age divisions finish this well under that time cap. So if I was coaching one of these ladies, I would say, hey, put the gas pedal down all the way from the very, very beginning and then hang on if you want to win this event.
And 300-meter run to start off.
So we're seeing a little bit of jockeying for position. It is a pretty fast pace on this first round. I think they'll use this run later on as a time to recover from the other work that they're doing, from that yoke carry, especially from the rope climbs.
See our athletes make their way back inside the North Park. And I know that it's this first transition that you've been paying a lot of attention to, Justin.
Yeah, I really have, and I think that this is really where this event will be won or lost. It's going to be on this rope climb, and so I think that you've got to do several things when it comes to the rope climb. First and foremost, you can't spend any time standing at the bottom on that mat staring at the rope. So no hesitation. After you get off the run, jump right on the rope. In between each repetition on the rope climb, you don't want to spend a lot of time standing there staring at the rope. And you've got to be really efficient with the way that you use your feet and your legs. So make sure that your ascent is quick. Try to take big chunks out of that rope when you're securing it with your feet, so that you can turn this into a leg exercise rather than an arm and an upper body exercise.
2 minutes gone by, the 20-minute cap, event number 4 for the 50 to 54 age group, 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. We'll overall leader entering the day was Lori Machiznik. This after she finished 6th in this division in 2017. She was 7th in 2016. She was 3rd in 2015. And back in 2012, she was 6th in the 45-49 division. Machiznik does have experience with this upper echelon competition.
Yeah, and you see Christy Rooney there in the blue top, blue bottoms. Now we're on to Prieto, Mary Cruz in lane number 7. And we'll see how she braces herself as she picks up that 300-pound yoke. Eva Thornton finishing her first yoke carry. That's 44 feet. And Eva with a white tank top on there.
See Rose Wall there making her way through her first yoke carry, and now she's going to be back onto the run. But that is Eva Thornton right now, making her way back to the 300-meter run, and seems like she is taking your advice, Justin, turning it into an active recovery.
Yeah, she looks, both ladies, you know, Lori Machiznik and Eva Thornton look really comfortable on that run, starting this second round. And so I think this is when they will want to kind of recover those arms a little bit, kind of shake things out, loosen up, settle into the rest of this event. You see a little bit of jockeying for position between Laurie in the all blue and Ava in the white tank top there. Ava, you saw her with some chalk, and she chalked up her hands in anticipation of those rope climbs. Then she tucked that in her bra strap there. Kind of an interesting technique.
Machiznik and Thornton making their way on that right turn to get back into the North Park. Here's Machiznik, our overall leader. She is being followed by Ava Thornton, who's in second. So 1-2 enter the arena, 1-2. Now it's 3 rope climbs for our competitors here in event number 4.
And I want to watch Lori's technique on this rope climb. Big, tall stretch and a big, long pull. Look how she's using those legs. She's getting a nice, tight pinch with her feet and clamping that rope and standing up straight and tall so that she can just take as few pulls as possible. And a really quick descent. So great job by Lori Machiznik.
Machiznik, a little bit more about her competitive background. She's also 2 times been a team competitor in the regionals. So very experienced.
Look how fast she is on that descent. And really just taking 2 breaths and then getting back on that rope. So great job by Lori there.
Again, that's our overall leader, Machiznik there. Middle of your screen, dead center. There is Marcia Van Glenn Weisgol. She's in 3rd after 3 events.
And Ted, her descent was a lot slower than Lori Machiznik. You saw her come down that rope really fast, where Marcia here with the red bottoms is just being a little bit more deliberate on her descent. And those seconds add up.
Again, she was in 3rd entering the day, and we see Machiznik out in front right now, giving herself some space.
Yeah, she's really opening up a gap. Looking really strong on this 3rd run. She's keeping the same pace that she established, it looks like. Same pace that she established on that 1st run.
Back to Weisgol.
And those long arms on that yoke were swinging a bit, but she had adjusted the height in such a way that they were pretty far off the ground, so she kind of could get away with a little bit of that. We measured these athletes yesterday so they could adjust that yoke to where they wanted it to be, according to their own height and their own preference. Christy Rooney in the all blue, and you see that it is a lot more core intensive than it looks like on paper. You saw her kind of stagger a little bit, and that's because those arms start swinging here. You see a good picture of that on the right-hand side. When those arms start swinging, it can get away from you fast, and then you have to set it down and readjust, and that takes time too.
Kim Allway. As we're 8 minutes and 15 seconds into the 20-minute cap. There's Ava Thornton making her way back to the rope climbs. Again, Ava Thornton was second on the day.
Not sure what happened to the chalk. She had tucked in her bra strap there. She's using the one in the chalk bucket.
Justin, you've touched on it a little bit, just the strategy aspect of this, the little things that matter. And watching Lori McChesnick and Eva Thornton climb that rope, they both got 3 pulls. The same there, they're moving that yoke at about the same pace once they pick it up. But it was that second 300-meter run. Eva Thornton went out first, Lori McChesnick went out second, and Lori McChesnick came back a little bit faster. So you mentioned the active recovery on the run. I think McChesnick took that as, I need to take this and pass her up. And ever since then, she hasn't looked back. So different strategies for different people coming into this. And obviously paying off for the 2 ladies in first and second. But McChesnick pushing on that run is what vaulted her in such a sizable lead as they head to their final round.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see the different strengths that each athlete will have, right? Like Lori McChesnick, really efficient on those rope climbs, but boy, she is pushing the pace on that run.
She knows, like you said, knows where her strengths lie. And maybe it's the case of, not a bad thing, because Eva Thornton's in second place, but maybe she pushed a little hard on that first round of 4 rope climbs. It doesn't seem like a lot. 6 rope climbs, 900 meters of running, and 3 yoke carries. But at the end of the day, after day 1 of competition, they had 3 events yesterday. Another event, obviously right now, another event, 2 more events later. Maybe that volume starting to creep up a little bit, and that can obviously change the game a little bit as we get further and further to the weekend.
Over the halfway point here in women's event number 4 here for the 50 to 54 age group at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Ronderea working her way back to the run. We see Valkenburg.
Marion Valkenburg doing a good job keeping the bottom of that yoke even and not letting it start to swing very much. Same with Rose Wall there in the white shirt, front and center on your screen.
And this is McChesnick. She's in the lead and back to the rope climb. Just this 1 rope climb, and then she'll be on to 1 more carry.
Boy, she's really opened up a lead. Lori has opened up a lead over Eva Thornton. Thornton now just finishing that last run.
And McChesnick is moving strong and on now to the final yoke carry.
Bracing that core, taking those short, choppy steps. Look how even the bottom of that yoke is. She's put together an incredible event here.
So McChesnick takes event number 4, and her strong start to the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games continues as their overall leader gets an event win.
Yeah, this will be her first win of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. So all four of her finishes have been in the top four. She's had a first place finish now, 2 third-place finishes, and a 4th-place finish yesterday.
Here's Thornton right now. Now she's got the final yoke carry herself. 12:45 gone by. 20-minute cap. And up to this point, no problem for Majiznik and now Thornton.
Yeah. 300 pounds on that yoke. These ladies are doing a great job just keeping those cores stable and strong.
And Thornton will come in just under 13:10. As Elston coming in to take third in the event. There's Prieto coming in lane 7.
I think Mary Cruz really liked that yoke carry. She made up a lot of ground, I think, pushed the pace on the yoke carry, where some ladies were just trying to get it from point A to point B as best they could. She was going as fast as she could.
Wanda Ray came in as well. Here's Wall. And just about the 14-minute mark for Wall.
I think we'll see this. Most of these ladies will finish well under that time cap.
There's Valkenburg coming in. There's Feineman coming in, Alexia Feineman.
Still got a race right down to the very finish. Those seconds matter, don't they?
That was Glover and Boberthai in lanes 1 and 2. Rogers. Over 5 minutes remain still. It's Rooney in lane 20. She'll come across right about the 15-minute mark. Napoli aggressively shaking out those arms, Justin.
Yeah, in the later portion of this event, too, not only has your core been blasted, but that grip's been taxed a little bit. And so the more you can shake out those hands, those arms, and really rely on your foot clamp and your legs to help you get up that rope, it's going to help alleviate some of that strain placed on the upper body.
There's Janice Spray in lane number 5.
See, and different athletes have different preferences on how they want to adjust that yoke. She barely, it was set low enough, but barely got the bottom off the ground. I like mine a little bit higher than that so that I don't catch, but she feels really confident that she can keep it steady and straight as she goes down the field. See how it's swaying there? That's what you want to avoid when you're carrying a yoke.
Cici Fogaré. Final competitors try to make their way across. That was Mandy Hannon coming in there in lane 16. 3 minutes remain.
2 final athletes.
It's Claudia Jacober from North Plano CrossFit.
bracing that core, taking those short, choppy steps.
Two minutes and 20 seconds remain here. Event number 4 for the Masters Women's 50 to 54 age group. Day 2 of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. And there's Napoli.
Carrie getting the chair. She comes down for that yoke carry.
Minute 45 remains.
She's blasting through the yoke carry. I think it's really that rope climb that's really, providing a setback for her.
Well, she's got about a minute and 30 seconds left.
And if the athletes get time capped, meaning that they don't complete all of the work under that time cap, they still get credit for all the work that they do. They're just assessed a 1 second penalty for every rep that they have left, and the run will count as a rep. We were told by head judge yesterday that they will get credit for all the work that they do.
1 minute remains here for event number 4. Masters Women 50 to 54 age group. Day 2 of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. This is Carrie Napoli doing her last 300-meter run. The event went to Mashiznik, who is our overall leader. 25 seconds. Claudia Jacober making her way back in to the North Park.
Claudia had 2 top 10 finishes yesterday in events number 1 and 2 respectively.
And the horn will sound. What another impressive performance from Lori Mashiznik. She was our overall leader entering the day. Gets her first event win of these 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, and now positions herself quite nicely.
All smiles as she starts. Lori Mashiznik starting in on that first 300-meter run, but really she crushed the rope climbs. She stayed consistent on her pacing on the run. And that yoke didn't provide any kind of a setback for Lori as she trundled down the field of play. 44 feet with each chunk and each round on that 300-pound yoke, and smashed event number 4 with the number 1 place.
Let's throw it down to Nick now on the floor.
Lori, a very strong performance here in event 5. Why was a rope climb, yoke carry, and run such a strong event for you?
I probably did, well, let's say a lot of rope climbs this year. I've gotten stuck on the ropes in some workouts in the past year, so I was going to make sure that didn't happen. We're so lucky at our gym. We've got every piece of equipment, and I have an amazing coach who makes sure yokes are programmed in pretty regularly, so that didn't scare me. It was just to recover on the run, to get back and make those rope climbs. And I've had some excellent coaching on rope climbs.
Credit to your coach and yourself for working on them. Eva Thornton's charging hard. Y'all finished first and second. How do you hold her off the rest of the week and maintain that top spot?
Yeah, man, she's got 2 first-place finishes yesterday, so I got my head down. I got a plan for the workouts. I'm going to stick to that, and I just outwork myself. That's the best thing I can do. Yeah.
You versus yourself. Congratulations, Lori. We'll see you later today.
Thanks so much.
Lori Mashiznik, our overall leader, and she takes event number 4 here for the women's 50 to 54 age group inside the North Park. Let's take a look at our event results. Macisnik 12:01:04. Opened up 1 minute and 6 seconds over Ava Thornton, who was followed closely behind by Linda Elston, Maricruz Prieto, Monique Landore, Christy Looney, Rose Wall, Marian Valkenberg, Alexia Feynman, and Marianne Glover rounding out the top 10. But again, the story at this point is all about Lori Macisnik. She came in as our overall leader. She got her first event win, and now she finds herself in very good standings, and she heads into the rest of this competition on day number 2 here at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. But not going anywhere are Rose Wall or Eva Thornton, as well as Marcia Van Glanenwijsgold. So the competition remains intense. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back with more action here at the North Park at the Alliant Energy Center.